Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this month's mixer. Ken was going to present tonight on a radio that he's been working on or developed or got. But anyway, he could not make it tonight, and apparently he's on the road at the moment. So we'll carry on here without that. My presentation was only going to last about 3 minutes, so or 5 maybe at most. It was only to fill in on top of Ken's. So we'll have lots of time for a roundtable, and I'll add a little bit of, I'll post some questions for the roundtable. So, we'll go through the usual, what's on your bench, and then see if you have any comments to some of the stuff that I propose. Okay. Okay, I guess you guys can see that.
Yep.
Okay, so we call this One Day at Dave's, and it's all about the probe. So one of the things we discovered with this particular project is that it's nice to have 3 people building your prototypes and then comparing. Well, of course, I guess we went through this with the Park SMA as well. But one of the things that came out of this was we were all doing things differently. And it led to some interesting results until finally Dave took the bull by the horn and wrote up a whole slew of procedures. And that really simplified things and got us all on the same page. At least we could talk about apples and comparing apples to apples, etc. So that was interesting in itself, just the methodology we had to go through. So this is the prototype, one of the prototype boards. In this particular shot here, Dave got smart and designed a few different circuits on the same footprint. And of course, there'd be no extra cost because we kept it down to the 100 by 100 millimeters. Up here on the top left, that's the complete board with the BF998 here and the 2SC3357 over here, all on the one circuit. In case that didn't work, Dave had another version down here. This one was just he did the circuit with just the BF998 on its own, and then has an output jack here. And the idea here was on this side, he put on an output circuit. I think this one is the BUF 520 transistor output amplifier. This one here is the 2SC3357 amplifier circuit, the output circuit on its own. And down here, we put in a MAR 6 amplifier circuit. So the idea behind this is we could take this circuit, plug it into this amplifier or this one, and just see how it works. I think, Dave did all the tests, got through all of it actually, and determined that the 2SC3357 gave the much better performance than the other ones did. So we went with that. And the ever watchful eye at the meeting. So here we are starting to set up in Dave's basement. This is just outside his shack. And over here, I brought my SA in scope and SIGGEN. I also brought along the Phoenix project. And there's the test board, the prototyping board for the probe. And the idea being was one of the things that we wanted to do on this particular weekend was make sure that we all had all the testing done on the 3 different boards, and we all come to a conclusion as to what the specs are and set the specs for the probe, and away we go. The other thing I wanted to do was, in addition to that kind of testing, was to go through the Phoenix circuit and see how it behaved when attaching the probe to it. And this is just a little bit of a video clip here that Eric took of just our surroundings. Over here is Michael's setup. And over here, Eric was gonna try to figure out how to use his VNA. I have to get Eric to slow down a little bit. And over here, Eric had set up a little bit for a probe casing prototype that he painted some shielding inside it. Michael got hungry. Now we're into Dave's shack, and over here, Kevin has got a new toy, his SA that he's brought along, and he's decided to take advantage of all of us being there, and he's learning how to use it.
It says 23A, 12 volts. What does that mean?
You'll see Dave's at 80 there.
0.23 maybe? Here, let's see.
And that's just a quick little tour around of our abode for the day. Okay, so here's basically the same thing where I'm setting up, getting through the testing. I forgot a power cord. You can never remember everything, and I forgot to bring a power cord for the Phoenix, but I did have a couple of spare batteries, so I was running the Phoenix with the 9-volt battery, and I went through 2 of them. The right picture there is I never got around to putting a proper volume control in for the audio, so I was still adjusting with a trim pot, and of course injecting the signal into the from the SIGGEN into it. It was quite loud. So we were just making some adjustments there. Again, Michael's his setup a little cleaner setup than when I got mine. And again, Eric was trying to characterize the board, the probe with the VNA. And there's a little bit more of Kevin getting ready with his SA. It's a nice little kit of adapters you got there, Kevin.
Yeah, well, it wasn't cheap, but it sure came in handy.
Yeah, I bet. So there you can see Michael looking over the one of the procedures for the testing. Off the top of my head, I think there was 4 or 5 procedures that Dave wrote up. Covering all things like max signal, minimum signal, gain, bandwidth, noise, those kinds of things, and it was all detailed out on setting up your SIGGEN and your SA and all that kind of stuff, and so that we were able to all do the same thing. One of the issues Michael had really was trying to become a little more familiar with the SA, and really understanding what the changes he was making on the SA and what they were actually doing. So even with a detailed document, it was still a little bit unclear. So we're all just trying to figure it all out and clarify the mud, so to speak. But it certainly was a good exercise in using our test gear and getting comfortable with the results and what we were doing. Just another view. And the upper left, I guess I made that picture a little bit bigger, but the upper left is the software that we used with the VNA. And boy, does it make things much easier using the software than using that screen. Far more intuitive for sure. And just on the right, lower right, is just capturing some of the data that we were finding. One of the things that we did do, because of all the complexities of what we were trying to do, we basically put it on a whiteboard and then just went through it one by one as to, okay, what was our goals? What exactly was it that we were trying to do? And then check off what we had done or had not done. And then on the right, it's, again, we went through a little bit of a review of, okay, when we're measuring our harmonics and the high signal, all that kind of stuff, what exactly is it that we wanted to do and how are we going to measure it and why? And we went through that with each thing that we were doing. So the high signal, the smallest, the bandwidth, the impedances, noise, current draw, that kind of thing. So it all worked out quite well. It's funny how when you get formal, when you're retired and you still get formal, you still have to get formal, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And after it all, and all our arguments, we still were friends and we went out for dinner. Now, one thing unique, maybe I should guess. Does anybody want to take a guess as to what's unique about this particular picture with this group? Well, nobody's drinking beer. It's the first time I think we've all gone out for dinner and not have a beer. It was too expensive. Who would have thunk? And it was like we were never there. Okay, that's all I've got for that. Okay, did I stop sharing? Okay, let me just. Who else am I missing here? Everything seems awfully quiet. Did I lose my audio? Somebody say something.
Something.
Okay, there we go. I'm not used to hearing absolute dead silence. This must be the first time that everybody had their mics muted. Anyway, okay.
Maybe Peter.
It was a speechless presentation.
So, when was this? Like, when did this happen?
About 4 weeks ago.
Oh, 4 weeks ago. Okay.
At least, yeah.
Oh, longer than that.
It was a gathering of the guys that were part of the probe team. So it wasn't like we out to everybody there to say, hey, this is what we're doing all joints. It was the probe team to get together to hash out some things. Dave, you got a comment?
Yeah, I was going to suggest, Peter, we've got myself, yourself, Kevin, and Eric. That's, I think, who attended. Maybe you could just hold each person and say, you know, what?
I missed the last part. I missed the last part of what you said, Dave.
I said it would be interesting if we asked those who are here, like Kevin was here, Eric, yourself, myself, and just informally ask them to say, hey, what did you get out of it? What did you walk away with?
Okay. Well, since your mic is open, what did you get out of it?
Sure. Well, for me, it's a social aspect. Like I had a blast just hanging out with you guys and just talking geek and just, you know, hanging out together. To me, that's what I think the benefit of all these things we do together is a social aspect, because, you know, it's great that we do things across, you know, virtually across the video. But man, I sure miss our dinners at Kelsey's and going over to Simon's and Safe City. I sure miss those days. You know, that's when I think the club was, you know, most interested, and we had lots of fun. So I kind of miss that, and to me, that's what I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about the social aspect. You're right. You know, we do get down to business. We don't get stupid usually until a little bit later in the day or in the evening, and then we recover usually for the next day. Check out you know, the SA and calibration. You know, when you calibrate it for a set frequencies and set everything, and then with the tracking generator, where you go. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to change the frequency and not recalibrate it, and just to see. And yeah, it made a difference of about a dB and a half on one end. So, you know, not huge, but still there was something.
It's there depending on what you're measuring, I guess.
That's right. Okay, thanks, Kevin. And Eric, how about you? Did you get anything out of that day?
Hey, I'm here. Yeah, absolutely. It was actually 2 months ago, believe it or not, March the 8th. So, yeah, I had to cut out early, so unfortunately I missed the after party. But yeah, you know what? I started getting my feet wet with the CAD program. That was actually what I was mostly working on there with the case for the RF probe in mind. So in addition to doing the shielding on the, or playing around with the shielding paint that I had, which I honestly have still not tested the results of that shielding, but hey, maybe that's something to do at Smith's Falls, right? It's a thought, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, no, always good. Always learn something. Always get the juices, creative juices flowing at these events. So I'm sure looking forward to that again next week. By the way, when I was driving down to the hospital this afternoon, I had joined the Rag Chew Ramble, as the net is called, the YRC repeater for the York Region Club. And I mentioned our little shindig in Smiths Falls to people that were on the net. Said that I would, we'd be happy if there was anybody who was interested in making the trip out to spend a day with us or whatever. And so yeah, they received that positively. So anyway, for what it's worth, maybe we'll get some new blood in SOAREX.
Oh, what's wrong with the old blood?
It's a little stale,
It's still stale.
Needs some new genetic material.
I think the 4 days in May North participants are going to have something to discuss next week. Dave, you have a comment?
No, I was just going to say, holy cow, it's next week. I thought it was a couple weeks.
A week today we'll be there.
Away.
A week now.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It'll be fun. And I wanted to ask Eric. Eric, I'm thinking of bringing my 3D printer out. Are you going to bring yours out?
I was going to, but do we need two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 different probes.
I guess.
2 different things, cases in here.
Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier, if you don't mind. So,
And do you have the BL Touch probe? Do you have got the Touch probe?
no, but I'll have it in time. So,
Once you get it, because we can install it then.
yep, sure, sounds good.
Okay, great. And just a reminder, what happened was those of us that participate in Dayton's 4 days in May decided not to participate this year, and then we quickly decided, well, let's do something anyways, and Smith Falls had the Hamfest going on that same Saturday, so we said, well, let's just go get an Airbnb up in Smith Falls and have 4 days in May North, and so we got a schedule of events. Thursday we'll do the Zoom session and watch all the talks down at the 4 days in May South. That'll be for us on Thursday. And then Friday we'll do our Geek Day and work on all our projects, and that's been going on. And then Saturday we'll head up to the Hamfest, and then I think
And
Saturday.
Cherry will buy 50% of the stuff for sale, and I'll buy the other 50%. And we'll be done.
Yeah. So that should be good.
Perfect.
So anyway, so that's what we're doing. Okay. So let's do, I guess we can do a little bit of roundtable. And one thing I'd like to add in, Dave, you want to say something?
No, I was trying to open up the chat window because I saw Cherry typing. And I figured he was responding to me and I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Okay. So in addition to just our usual roundtable on what's on your bench, I thought maybe you just ponder this as we go around and just make a comment. And that would be, what would you like to see more from SOAREX? More building, maybe more education kind of things, maybe even more broaden out our scope from more than just radios. Would you like to see deeper dives into components, maybe different circuit types, that kind of thing? So what would you like to see in presentations or topics of interest, that kind of thing? So maybe as we go around, if you wouldn't mind, maybe make a comment. That would be great. I'll start off since I'm on the upper left. Really, it's on my bench is the probe. That's all. Well, I'm also doing a soft rock version 9. Working on that, although I haven't touched that for a couple of weeks. But I've been putting that together, and the documentation for that is on the CAREX site, actually. And but other than that, and the probe, that's all that's really been on my bench, other than making one of these local computer places who happened to be a ham. He got rid of about 40 years worth of components and parts and all kinds of things that he had stashed. So it was all gathered up in a truck and dropped off in this guy's driveway. So we all went over there after our breakfast on Saturday. There was a breakfast you shouldn't have missed, Charlie. And all these racks of, well, you can see those kinds of things. There was tons of those sitting out on the driveway all the way down, full of components and all boxes of computer parts and all kinds of things. So I managed to grab one of the bins and brought that home. So I've been busy sorting through parts that I don't want, parts that I want. So these are the parts I don't want, chips of all kinds. And Dave, some of the chips that I think you might be interested are going in there. So anyway, I'll bring some stuff up that I think maybe some guys might be interested in. I'll take that up to the 4 days in May North.
Is that where the RAM chips that you said you have available are from?
Well, if you want them, say so before I throw them all out.
But was that from that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, RAM chips are there, and there's flip-flops and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so that's what's been going on. And one other thing too is I think I got rid of pretty much almost all those parts that we've been having from our park homebrew days that Ken had for a few years and stuff. It made the rounds of 4 days at Eric's Cottage. We got through there, and then the Kingston boys had a round of mine, and so now it's down at the electronic dump, most of it. So, okay, with that, I guess Kevin, you're up next on my screen.
There we go. Okay. As far as what next, I don't know. I like talking more about circuits and stuff like this, and just some different stuff. Like I'm culling magazines, and I'm going through all QEXs and stuff, and finding all these really interesting circuits and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, this would be cool to build. Even the DCR. It's like there's a voltage tunable bandpass filter, good from 1.8 to 30 megahertz. And it's like that would be perfect for the front end on the DCR. Now, I don't know how good it is. I didn't dive into detail, but I'm going to scan it and keep a copy of it and maybe play with it. I don't know. But yeah, on the bench is like, speaking of the DCR, I was just trying to figure out why my DCR was so deaf. And anyway, it's something to do with the bandpass filter. And also checking the power supply. You know, I got the power supplies that I ordered, the next version of the ones that didn't blow up when you touch them. And yeah, you load them up. I loaded up to like no load. The peak to peak ripple was, I don't know, 30 millivolts or something like that. It wasn't much. Half an amp, it goes up to half a volt, peak to peak ripple, which is a little excessive. And that's only, and it's rated for 3, so it's going to get worse. Anyway, it needed 1,000 microfarads just to tame it back down to like 20, 30 millivolts. Oof. So we're going to have to add some big capacitors on the power supply board to make it somewhat not so noisy. Anyway, so I've just been playing around with that. And
well, speaking of blowing up power supplies, I started to suck out some 3 amp diodes. Do you want them for your power supply? Where are they? Somewhere in here. I decided I had no use for them, so I
think where I might use them. Oh, actually, I wanted to put on the power supply. I wanted to put a reverse polarity and over voltage circuit right out front, so that it doesn't blow up any of the modules if somebody puts in a wrong, power supply. Like if it's too high voltage or it's too, it's wrong polarity. Put a big one of those really low resistance FETs out front with a little detection circuit, just to kill it if something's not right. So to help prevent letting the smoke out.
There you go. Is your hand up again, Dave? Or is that another?
Yeah, I wanted to make an offer to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, if you're going through magazines and stuff, I've got a bunch of Sprat. I got like the majority of Sprat magazines on electronic copies. I haven't gotten them for the past maybe 4 or 5 years, the more recent ones, but you're welcome to it if you're scanning through. Some of those Sprat articles are really good. They're short, concise, they have little circuits. And,
yeah, thanks. I actually bought the CD last time I was at Dayton. They were selling the back catalog of the CD, whatever it was. I don't know what year it went up to, but it was fairly recent. So I do have that CD, and I haven't even, they're just going through that. That's a project, right? Just looking through and seeing, oh, this looks interesting.
See how your time is filling up in your retirement?
Sorry?
See how your time is filling up, your schedule is filling up already? Even
I know, between, golf and this and music, and it's like,
lucky guys.
How do you guys ever get anything done?
Okay. Thanks, Kevin. Marty, what have you been up to these days? Long time no chat. Are you muted? There you go.
Okay, there I go. 3 things. I'm now building the signal generator. I've had it sitting here for a long time, ready to build, but I got down to it the other day. It's half built. The reason I'm building it is because the DCR doesn't work without a signal source, and I don't have a signal source. So I've got the DCR ready to go. Now, when I'm finished building the signal generator, do I have to see somebody when the build is complete to get it programmed and calibrated?
That's a good question.
And if I did have to see somebody, who would it be?
Off the top of my head, I think
Do we have a manual for it?
Yeah, we're talking about the park. Park.
There is a manual for it.
I think the software for it's on the park homebrew site.
Okay. So I'll when I get it built, I may be asking somebody questions about it.
Okay.
Anyway, it's half built now. When I get that finished, I'll build the DCR because that shouldn't take too much time to build, and then put them together and see what happens. Then I'll be able to participate in the discussions. And then the third thing, I did build, and I don't know if you can see this. It's an Arduino-based kit. It's called Morse Tutor by W8BH, and it's very good. It's got a 3-inch screen on it. It's got Arduino base, and you can get a plastic box to put the thing in. The files are on the internet for the printer files, and it's I guess the Arduino IDE. And if you want to look it up, you can type in W8BH, and it's being sold right now, kitted by Vince Dion. I don't know if you know Vince Dion or not. He used to be VE3DLK here in Ontario, and then he moved out to Alberta, and he's VE6LK. So write down that call sign, VE6LK, and go check it out. It's quite the little kit if you're interested in fooling around with Morse code. Now, the one feature that's very interesting, when it's got Wi-Fi on it, and so you can have 2 of these units within a room, not too far away, and you can send Morse code from one to the other. And as you type the code, of course, it comes up on the screen, which was my interest because I like to see what I'm sending to make sure that it's not garbage. I know the code. I can send code that I can understand, but can the guy at the other end understand it? And can a machine understand it? So I like to see the screen. Now, I think you can modify the software. There's a few things I'd like to modify in the software, but I don't know the Arduino or anything. But I think the files are available on GitHub, and W8BH's website goes into it. So that's what I've been doing.
Marty, I put in the chat the link to the Park Homebrew site, and I think you'll find there's 2 files up there. One's the manual, and the other one is, I believe, is the software for the Arduino.
Thank you. Okay, that's great.
And if that doesn't work out, if it's not there or something's wrong with it, then just do a posting on groups. And I think Ken probably is the resource there. I just can't recall off the top of my head now.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Peter.
Okay, very good, Marty. Charlie, what's up?
Sorry, pushed the wrong button again. I've got a bunch of things I've been working on the bench. I've been working on the SIGGEN a little bit, the one that for the same reason I just heard about. I need a SIGGEN in order to build the DCR. So, but I decided to design my own since I don't have the stuff for the Park one. So I've been working on that based on a Raspberry Pi and the standard SI 5351 and so on. It's coming along. I kind of put it aside for a bit. I've been, it's been on the bench for a couple of months now. I've put it aside for the last couple of weeks because I picked up a D-Star hotspot, and so I've been messing with that and learning about D-Star since apparently the RAC has been promoting D-Star as the backup communications for emergency communications in Ontario. So based on that, I'm hearing lots of banging and thumping in the background. I don't know whose mic is open. But it's not
Sorry about
mine.
that.
Anyway.
That's me.
Oh, okay. Besides that, I've got a new circuit board. I just put together an updated version of my APRS boards for my buddies in the Yukon. I've made a major cost reduction in it by replacing all of the sensors and timing and so on with a Raspberry Pi Pico. So I'm using a Pi 02W and a Pi Pico as the front end on it, and I've eliminated all kinds of devices that are on it for measuring voltages and temperatures, for clock generation, for interrupts over long periods of time, and so on. And I'm about to start poking at it to see if I can make the Pico actually replace the sound card that I've been using. A friend of mine has spent some time experimenting with the Pico, and he's actually put an entire APRS unit together with it. Not a digipeater, but at least something that reports data by APRS. The only external piece it needs is a radio. It does all the audio formatting. It does all the data formatting. The two processors, one is running the APRS protocol. The other one is running all the audio generation and sound reception and so on. So it's a pretty cool project that he's been doing, and I'm hoping to steal a bit of his code for the sound card portion of it because that's a huge thing to write on your own. So yeah, those are the things that are kind of occupying my bench time these days.
You've been pretty busy, Charlie. That's for sure. And any comments on what you'd like to see more out of SOAREX?
I quite enjoy the sort of group projects where a couple of 3, 4, 5 people get together and create a detailed project and then spread it out to everyone else to be able to build it and use it. So I seen a couple of those projects this year between the probe and the backplane radio, and I think more of that would make me very happy.
Okay, that's good. Make me happy too. Okay, thanks, Charlie. Frank, how's it going over there?
Hey, we're going not too bad. Not too bad, Peter. My bench is heaped with radio junk.
I hope you're using the word junk in a nice way, not a bad way.
Oh, definitely a nice way. Joan would disagree. Anyway, it's my brother who provided me with a lot of excess ham gear had finally, or not finally, but has had to move into well, we used to call them old age homes, but I guess they're seniors residence now, same thing. Anyway, and I went down to Peterborough late last fall and picked up the rest of the gear that he had. So what I've been doing is sorting it out, testing it, pricing it for flea market, and in a couple of weeks, June the 1st, I'll be at the Kitchener-Waterloo Hamfest, also called Central Ontario Hamfest. And I'll have the same tables that I had last year, 3 tables full of amateur radio stuff. No books this time, but lots of other goodies, as many as I can sort out by June 1st. So that's what I've been doing, basically. And now all I have to do is get the bench cleared off so I can see the surface of it. There's one other thing that I want to comment on. I don't know if anyone is familiar with a company, which is a mail order company in Windsor, just north of me here. I've never been there because they don't have a storefront, but I have done business with them. And it's called Universal Solder. And they have quite a variety of not so much, well, kits as well, but modules. Plus, they have individual parts of an interesting variety. Not necessarily ham radio, but definitely digital for playing around and everything else, like video panels, small ones, medium ones, all sorts of types of things. And there's no tariff fees to worry about. They ship worldwide. And interesting, one of their things that's going on now is a backplane type radio, similar to what you guys are working on and we did years ago. But it's built in modules that bolt together. So I think they got a campaign now for raising some money. But if you haven't heard of it before, then it's called Universal Solder. And it's they've got what, 50, 60 page, no, over 50 anyway, pages of different products that they sell and are in stock, and they're a good source. I would just be looking here for one of the. Here's a okay, ESP32 board. I'll just hold up a picture of it. That's typical of what they have for $17.90. So I don't know whether that's a high price or low price. I haven't got into that area before. Anyway, just thinking somebody might be interested, even just to look at their website.
Yeah, I kept that link in the message. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a few of us are familiar with Frank. I've ordered a couple of things from them over the years, not a whole lot, but have stuff. And I have a funny feeling all those power supplies that Kevin's been ordering came from them as well. But I see you're now a major vendor. 3 tables.
Well, I did 3 last year, but there's a lot of stuff that I have to spread out, small bits and pieces and whatnot. So it's been quite an experience to get all these things in order. And yeah, we'll do exactly the same thing we did last year. In fact, I've asked for the same position just inside the door.
Okay.
So anybody, and I'm kind of disappointed that I'm going to miss a visit from some of you as you go through heading for Dayton. I can see some of the reasons why you don't go.
Well, we'll see what next year brings, but I don't think we're going to miss a beat, actually, but you never know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have the bridge open next year.
That's right.
Well, Frank, I mean, Smith's Fall is just a hop, skip, and a jump for you, right? So, you know,
Well,
you don't have to miss us.
I'm getting
Dave would be happy to
little
give up
old
his bed
for
for
a
you.
drive like that from this far away.
Dave will pick you up, and he'll give you his bed at the Airbnb. I'm an authorized agent to speak for him. So.
Yeah, all right.
I will lower my hand. But actually, I had a question for you. Do you still have that K2?
I was going to talk to you about it. Yes, I still have the K2.
Oh, my goodness. I've been dreaming about it.
Okay. I will have it with me if you can make your way to, where are we? Oh, Kitchener-Waterloo.
Right, right.
And yeah, I'll pack it up and have it for you. I even reduced.
Oh no, it's a sale. I didn't say. You know, I have $200 here that.
Hey, barter on your own. Hey, barter
has
on
your
your
name
own
on it. All right, very good. Thanks, Frank.
Anyway, if you can make it there, we'll talk about it. Send me your email address.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll continue that part of the conversation. As far as what would I like to see more on this get-together, the get-togethers have been fantastic because each week or each time we get on, there seems to be a different type of thing that's featured. So I enjoy the presentations that are done. And I've learned a lot from the presentation, so I wouldn't mind a few more of those as you go on. So we'll send it back to you there, Peter, and nice seeing everybody online.
Okay, thanks for that, Frank. Appreciate it. Al, you're up next.
So I got to find the mute button here. There you go. On my bench is about 3 feet tall of junk after my flood. Anyhow, I'm still rebuilding my basement and my shack, so no lab in the works yet. Maybe in the summer, so I'm going to be doing that. Fortunately, I have an operating shack in my car. I've got UV and HF in the car, so I'm not silent. But anything in the house is pretty much done right now. So that's what I'm focusing on. I've got a few projects that I'm dreaming of. I've got the DCR kit that I want to get onto once I get the lab back up and running. And I think I bought a set of PC boards from GQRP. One of their anniversary projects. So that looks kind of interesting. So I'm going to get into that maybe in this summer. That's pretty much all I'm up to right now. Not doing a lot of building right now. It's electronic building at least to say. As far as what I'm enjoying or looking for, I love the presentations. Many of them are over my head, but anyhow, love the buildathons. I really enjoy the test equipment, but I think sooner or later we're all going to have a pretty good suite of test equipment. So, like you say, being able to use this, learn how to use this. I enjoy a couple of times we sent out people to make a test measurement with our instruments and compare them. I really enjoy that. So, looking forward to more of that. Of course, any project that's a useful tool is wonderful, But hey, even the ones that aren't tools are learning experience, and a lot of it is the social aspect, getting together, building something, trying it out, and so I think the DCR receiver is a good example of that. We all have radios. Do we need another one? Well, arguably no, but we had an awful lot of fun designing it, didn't we? So it's kind of the common bond for everybody. So I like what we're doing. Let's keep it up. Maybe one of these days I'm going to retire and have a bit more time to wade in a little bit deeper. So that's pretty much it for right now. So Peter, back to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Al, and good luck with getting your shack back together. Dave, you have a comment?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Al. Al, you mentioned something interesting. You said you were getting on like VHF, UHF. I'm just curious, are you getting on a repeater? Like, is it the Mississauga or the Park repeater? Like, which, if it's a repeater, I'd like to know which one are you getting on? I'm just curious.
Oh, I could be persuaded to go anyway. I'm spending most of my time on HF. In the morning into work, I'm listening to ONTARS on 80. Then on the ride back, I'm usually on 40 meters listening to the W1AW code practice. So I'm trying to get my code speed up, and while I drive, I'm really trying to get over that hump of being able to read code in my mind without having to write it down. And that's tough. It really is. But I can see progress over the last 6 months. It's getting better. Still a long way away from being able to do a full QSO in my head, especially when driving. It's kind of interesting when I'm stopped at a light and can concentrate. I get a lot more copy. When I'm actually driving, if there's any distraction, the copy goes right out the window, and I'm concentrating on the road, which is probably what I should be doing. As far as repeaters, I'm often listening to what is it? It's the 440 repeater on the CN tower that used to be TWR UHF. I can't remember the name of it now. It's about the only one that's really active in this area. But I'm usually scanning Mississauga, Park, Oakville, that type of thing. So, are you suggesting we have a schedule or a common repeater we should all be listening to?
No, I think I misheard what you said. I didn't hear HF. I thought you were mostly on VHF and UHF. So it makes sense if you're on HF, because there's still lots of stuff going on, especially in the summer.
Yeah, agreed. I find the UHF, VHF can be very quiet sometimes, but you'll always find something on HF.
Okay, good. Thanks for that, Al. Dave, you're up next.
Geez, what have I been doing? Well, for the past few days, I've been completing the build. I've been completing the build of my Z80. It's all labeled. It's in a case. It's everything on it's complete now. It's up and running. I can do most everything with it. So right now, I'm just trying to get some programs to run on it, games, and I found a treasure trove, a whole bunch of ham radio programs, which I was blown away that they had a bunch of ham radio programs, inductance calculators, pi circuit analysis, T circuit analysis, design tools, and I ran across a CD which is posted online, which has all these programs, and I was really surprised that how many vintage ham radio programs that were there, and I got a bunch of them, and a bunch of them are running on my Z80. So I'll bring that up at Smith Falls, and we could play around with them. Some of them looks kind of cool. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the past little while. I've also been building. We're slowly making progress on the new high power rocketry field. That's going to be up Listwall up there. So we've been going up and doing, a field search, like checking the field out and submissions to Transport Canada and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, I joined a rocketry club in Cambridge just this week. So I'm going to start going out to their launches. They have launches once a week, so I'll be going out there. It's more model stuff, nothing high power, but it's just, again, it's a social aspect. Getting out with a bunch of guys who fly rockets, and we sit around, chew the rag, and talk about the good old days of rocketry. Same thing. Same thing. You get a bunch of old guys together. The conversation naturally deteriorates to, I remember when. Anyway, that's about it.
Okay, well, we'll allow you to join these other clubs as long as you remember where your number one priority belongs. Al, you got a comment?
Just a question for Dave. Dave, are you going to get an accessory for the Z80, like an IBM punch card reader for it?
Don't laugh.
Oh,
it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I started out after graduating. Well, as an undergrad too, I worked summers as a Fortran programmer. So one of the things the Z80 comes with is a Fortran compiler. And I've been looking at getting back into Fortran, and it's like, man, I can't even remember this. But it's funny because one of the videos I'm looking at had punch cards. They were talking about punch cards, how to use punch cards to go and put Fortran programs in. And I remember that took me back in first year. I took a Fortran course, and we were programming Fortran on a CDC, a cyber CDC. It was a 61-bit computer, and we had to use punch cards to go and program that. So no, sorry, it was right after punch cards. It was the first time they had punch cards gone, and you had to use the teletype, and you had to submit a batch job. It would run, and then a day later you'd go and get your output. There were, computer operators and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Marty, I've been reliving some of my glory days. I'm sure Frank's smiling. He's looking at that going, yeah, I remember those days.
Oh, okay. And I see, I never did punch cards, but I remember the first baggage sortation computer we had in the old Terminal 2 was programmed via ticker tape. Hassan, you have a comment?
Yeah, my father's old textbooks had pictures of punch cards in there. And so you had Fortran programs in there, and then they're actually written out like they were on a punch card. And that's how I learned Fortran.
Okay. And Charlie, you got a comment?
Just a question for Dave. I have a line on a dot matrix printer. I wonder if you're interested.
9-pin?
I'm not sure. It's probably 25.
It's kind of funny. One of the key things on the Z80 in the BIOS, it's actually got a section for printing to a teletype. CPM was developed to print to a teletype or a dot matrix printer. I think a dot matrix printer came out more so in the 80s, right? This is 70s vintage tech. So, and you know what? I had a old Epson dot matrix printer, and I threw it out probably about 15 years ago, thinking, what am I going to ever do with this stuff? And now I'm kind of kicking myself. Shut up, Eric.
Anyway, if you're interested, I know one that's going to get tossed soon. So if you're interested, I can try and scoop it for you.
Well, when you used to live nearby, Dave, I would go and sort through your rubbish and pull out stuff at 2 a.m. So I have it.
Sure,
Don't worry, it's safe.
Al, you got a comment?
Oh, Dave, I think you're looking for what do they call it? A decky writer, a deck writer. Remember those?
Decorator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the Z80 uses, because it says it uses VT terminals. Because I started using when I started my career, I was using a VT 100, but it uses prior terminals, because I think a VT came out like in the late 70s, early 80s, but it used these Lear Schlegel or something ADM 3As, and that's what if I could get my hands on one of those terminals, I'd grab it, because it means that all the games on CPM would work.
Okay. Well, you far too busy. Far too busy. You're ruining my retirement. You're so busy, Dave. Cherry, you're up next.
What am I doing these days? And don't have much going on over here. Cannot deny the fact that I'm a little bit depressed by not going to Dayton. So, yeah, I think, but I'm, good with the decision that we are not going. Hopefully next year the situation will be better. I hope so. I've been very busy at work, so and I've not been able to really get onto something. Just reading books and just planning for projects which are beside my table. Someday I'm going to get to that, that kind of stuff. I have that alt tuner which is still has to be complete. Almost in the final stages of it, but it's not complete yet, so still kind of working on it. Looking for this week and next week. Most probably I'll be visiting those hamfests. This week I think in Barrie there is a hamfest. Probably planning to go there. And one thing I should say is, anybody has a K2, please let me know if you are selling it. Eric.
Competition. Frank's K2.
Yeah, Frank's K2. Eric, if you are selling it, please go ahead and get it from Frank for sure. In case you are planning to sell it, Eric, just let me know. Planning to get a helicraft in future, not immediately though. So because of the economic situation, I should be careful. So that's the thing. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Jerry. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Eric, you're up next.
I'm still half serious about getting a vendor table at Smiths Falls. So, we'll see. I did buy some junk boxes off of a deceased ham 2 or 3 years ago. And, I haven't even looked at the stuff. So I might just spread it all out on the table and see what I can get. Maybe it'll pay for the 101E that I actually did get from the ham, but
I thought you would say maybe you pay for the Airbnb we've rented.
We'll see. Dave, you have your hand up. Be nice.
Have you been taking your own product? You're actually gonna get rid of them? Have you been taking your own product? Like, what do you do?
Well, you know what? I picked up a book today at the medical conference I was at. It's the latest desk reference for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of mental disorders. So I plan to bring this along to Smiths Falls and diagnose all that are present. So
when I said earlier about broadening our horizons from things other than radio, I didn't mean that broad. Okay.
But anyway, so as some of you know, I have been kind of busy. My spare cycles have been taken up with my dad having a bad fall about a week and a half ago. So he's been a guest of the Mississauga Hospital for, 11 nights, 12 nights now, something like that. He broke his patella and he's going to be 85 next month, so it's going to take a while for him to heal up, but he is making progress. But still, there are some complications, and we'll see where it goes. But still looking forward. I haven't broke the news to him that I'll be away for a few nights next week, but hopefully that'll go well. I don't expect I'll have to change my travel plans. Because of that, my sons are really stepping up and paying him lots of visits when I'm not available, working or otherwise. So I'll just tell him it's another business conference that I'm going to or something, and that'll smooth it over. So yeah, so unfortunately not much technical to tell you about, but look forward to next week and geeking out and getting some technical things going there. So.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, well, glad to hear your dad's sort of getting better there, and hopefully not too much longer you can come home.
Yeah. That's where I am now, by the way. I'm enjoying his palace here, so using his broadband and eating his food. So
and drinking his beer. Okay, Hassan, you're up next.
Okay, on the bench, I'm thinking of moving my bench from the basement upstairs, my daughter's bedroom, because she's away for the summer. So I can actually look out the window to the backyard, see the antennas. I might actually use the radio a bit more. Contemplating putting up the dipole finally. I'd love to stick it on the roof, get an extra 30 feet of height, but I don't think I can do that because it's fiberglass and it falls down, like it collapses a lot. So I want to actually, yeah, I'll probably just stick it on ground level because it needs frequent reassembly. But that's, if anybody knows what a good antenna is to stick on your roof, I think I might actually do that this year. Maybe a quad or something, but I don't know. Apart from that, I want to try to use SDRs on my laptop. First time I've ever bought a proper laptop. Only problem is it's ARM based, Windows on ARM, or maybe Linux on ARM. So I have to recompile software to work for it. So I'm thinking about starting that at some point. And that's about it. I think I really want to build some amplifiers just because I've never actually done it, like a Class A amplifier, power amplifier, just for the hell of it. Back to basics, I should do that.
Okay.
And yeah. Oh, and I got this device called the Flipper. I don't know if anyone has ever used it.
Only in my
Mr. Kata.
What?
We'll have to compare notes.
Oh,
wasn't that a dolphin?
Yeah, the Flipper thing. It's got a dolphin thing on it. It's a sub gigahertz radio. It's for RFID, NFC, garage door openers, remote controls. It's really cool. It's got the most amazing form factor, a great user interface. You can hold it up to any radio and just press click and it'll actually kind of detect what's going on and decode it. But it's only for like the ISM bands, so 433 megahertz, things like that. But you can hook it up to a remote control. It recognizes all remote controls. You can just pipe a remote control into it. It'll detect it, and it'll hold up an NFC, like a bank card, to it. It'll scan it, and it'll replay it. So overall, we can learn a lot from how to build a really nice device from this thing.
Well, maybe that's a group project after these 2 group projects that are on the go now get finished.
Yeah, I think it'll even diagnose mental illness, Eric.
Oh, God, let's move on. All right. Okay, well, trial out your device next week. Eric, you got a comment?
I used it to clone the key fob to get into the Airbnb condo in Vancouver last week. So because they only gave us 1 key fob, so blink.
You can do that?
It works.
Awesome.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay. Got one left. Howard, not least, but there we go. What are we doing tonight?
Pretty good. Not too much to report. Just experimenting with the T41 and the Tiny SA and trying to find the source of harmonics, and that has led to a lot of more reading on harmonics and things. So that's pretty well all I've been doing. And as far as comments, I missed the beginning tonight, so I'm assuming you're looking for comments for the group.
Yeah, just anything you'd like to see more of or new that we're doing, whether it be talking about components, circuit types, deep dives there, or more educational type things, more building, whatever.
Well, I'm pretty happy with everything. The presentations and the group builds, and I really appreciate for me the help that people provide because I'm relatively new to this. So no, I can't really think of anything else that I would like to see. The discussions and problem solving is really interesting.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for that. Dave, got a comment?
Yeah, Howard, I'm kind of disappointed in you.
I know.
We picked Smith Falls specifically because it's in your neck of the woods, and we thought you would come out and see us, and you're not. So I think sometime that week, if a black van pulls up in front of your car, in front of your house, and some old guys comes out with ski masks, don't be worried. We'll return you safe and sound eventually. You'll be returned, no problem, and you'll be fed too.
Well, yeah, it's kind of bad timing. I would have liked to go, and Smiths Falls isn't very far from me. So, well, for the Kingston people. So, no, maybe another time.
Well, it's about time that we did do something that's close to the Kingston people. That's for sure. Anyway.
Yeah, it's too bad that it worked out that way.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions before we close in and catch the end of the Leaf game? All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining in tonight. I've made note of the comments, and we'll move forward with that. And with that, we'll say 7-3, and nice to see everybody out. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Night all.